Hello everybody, welcome to Wild Boy Movies, the place to talk movies, and we got ourselves some unfortunate news involving the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise, because a movie that a lot of Turtle fans were really looking forward to was unfortunately just cancelled. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is taking a look at this news of the cancelled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie and why it could have been an awesome film. But be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on the cancellation of this Ninja Turtle movie. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so this news comes from the Hollywood Reporter, one of the most reliable news traits out there, and they're saying that a new live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot is in development at Paramount. They're saying that Neil H. Mortz is going to be producing the movie, which is the same producer of the Sonic movies, and they're saying that they want to go ahead and Sonicify this new Ninja Turtles movie. And I'm interpreting that as that they'll be very faithful to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise, because those Sonic movies that we got were pretty faithful to those Sonic games. So that sounds very exciting that we're going to be getting a new live-action Ninja Turtles movie to coincide with the animated Mutant Mayhem movies. Well, if you've been following the Ninja Turtle movie news, you know that there was already a live-action movie that was in development for Paramount for the Ninja Turtles, and it was going to be adapting the last Ronin storyline, which has already become one of the most famous storylines involving the Ninja Turtles. And the movie was in development, but the Hollywood Reporter went ahead and revealed that unfortunately, the last Ronin movie has unfortunately been scrapped and cancelled. And this has had a lot of Turtle fans pretty disappointed that this movie is no longer happening, because like I mentioned, the last Ronin storyline is one of the most famous storylines involving the Ninja Turtles from most recent years. Now, if you don't know what this storyline is about, it's essentially about all the turtles, except for one, have died off and we're in a post-apocalyptic New York City, and the one surviving turtle has to go out and seek revenge for his fallen brothers. Now, I personally haven't read the storyline of The Last Ronin. In fact, I don't really read that much comic. But people who have read the storyline really praised it for being very dark and more mature than what you expect for the Ninja Turtles franchise. And with this live-action movie that was going to be adapting The Last Ronin storyline, they were going to be faithful to that dark tone and make it rated R. And that detail right there made people very much looking forward to this movie, because it was going to be very different from the Ninja Turtles that we know, because Nickelodeon is the one who holds the rights to the Ninja Turtles, and Nickelodeon usually doesn't make more mature content, but Paramount was like, let's go ahead and make this last Ronin movie and make it what people who read the comics wanted to be, and make it pretty bloody and violent. And I think the director that they had attached would have done that pretty well, because they were going to get the director who made the movie Nobody to direct this last Ronin movie, which admittedly I have not seen the movie Nobody. It's a movie that I do want to watch though. But when looking at the reviews for Nobody, people did quite enjoy the movie, and Nobody is an R-rated action film, and so it leans into all the bloody action moments, and I think that director could have done some amazing action sequences for the last Ronin movie, where it stays true to that dark tone and is also pretty bloody and violent. And this would have been a very refreshing take to the Ninja Turtles franchise in comparison to all of the different incarnations that we've gotten before, whether it be on the big screen or on television. But unfortunately, it's just not going to happen, because that's something that the new regimes do not want to do with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. And yeah, if you haven't kept up with the news, Paramount did get bought out by Skydance, to where they both merged and Skydance now owns Paramount. And side note, at least Paramount is not going ahead and canceling Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Like, we're still going to be getting that movie, and thank goodness, because if they did cancel Sonic 4, I would have been extremely mad. But anyway, back to what I'm talking about with The Last Ronin. It sucks that Skydance does not want to go ahead and move forward with The Last Ronin storyline, because they want to go with a more traditional Ninja Turtle story, where it's with the four brothers together, having fun, going on a mission, and being more family friendly than what this last Ronin movie was gonna be, which is what they're gonna be doing here with this new live action movie that is in development along with the Mutant Mayhem movies, because they do say that they are still gonna be moving forward with the Mutant Mayhem universe, and the Mutant Mayhem 2 is still scheduled for its September 2027 release date. And while a lot of people would have shown up to this last Ronin movie if it was going to happen, they would be excluding the main target demographic of the Ninja Turtles, which is children, because they were going to make this movie rated R, dark, brutal, bloody. So I understand why Paramount and Skydance don't want to go ahead and move forward with this last Ronin movie and want to stick with something more family friendly because for profit. But just thinking about the potential of a live action, rated R Ninja Turtles movie that was going to be adapting this last Ronin storyline, like that could have delivered a very fun, action filled, and entertaining movie for people who love that storyline involving the Ninja Turtles, and it sucks that Paramount does not want to go ahead and move forward with that storyline. But I will say that there is one silver lining and positive thing with this cancellation, is that at least they didn't go ahead and start filming this movie. What I mean is something like Coyote vs. Acme, which was infamous for having filmed, completed, but written off for tax purposes by Warner Bros., essentially canceling the movie's release. But luckily that movie was saved and we're getting that movie next year. In fact, we just got a brand new image for Coyote vs. Acme this morning via Empire Magazine. If Paramount had gone ahead and started filming this new Ninja Turtle movie adapting The Last Ronin, and then they were bought out by Skydance and they were like, yeah, that's not what we want to do with Ninja Turtles, let's scrap this movie, then I think we'd be reacting the same way we did when Coyote vs. Acme was initially shelved by Warner Brothers. But in this Hollywood Reporter article, they do go ahead and say that there is a slight possibility that this movie could still end up happening, just in the very far future. An insider for the Hollywood Reporter does say that Paramount Skydance does want to possibly revisit this idea down the road, so there's a slight possibility that this last Ronin movie could still end up happening. It could just be years and years and years down the line when we get this live action reboot and Paramount decides, you know what, it's time to go ahead and make this last Ronin movie. But if this movie is fully dead and we're never gonna get it, we still have the last Ronin video game in development. And before you guys go ahead and say, oh, it's canceled just because we haven't heard anything in a while, this same thing happened with the Wolverine video game where we went years without anything on that game, and we're finally going to be getting that game next fall. Don't even get me started on what's going on with GTA 6 though. But that is essentially all the updates that we got right now. The last Ronin movie is scrapped in favor for a new live-action reboot that will be more faithful to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. I want to hear from you guys. Are you disappointed that this last Ronin movie got cancelled? Or are you something that's completely fine with this movie not happening or just waiting for the video game? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section, and while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video, and have a great day.